President Bongbong Marcos is set to meet with Filipinos in Cambodia following the ASEAN summits. Bayang's combined damage to agriculture and infrastructure now stands at over 11 billion pesos. And Democrats retain control of the U.S. Senate, defying predictions of a Republican takeover. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Riza Diaz. We begin tonight's newscast with the conclusion of the 40th and the 41st ASEAN summits in Cambodia. President Bongbong Marcos and other state leaders attended the closing ceremony earlier today. Host country Prime Minister Hun Sen reiterated the importance of strengthening relations among ASEAN countries. Cambodia also handed over the ASEAN chairmanship to Indonesia, which will host next year's summit. Now, after the ceremony, Marcos Jr. met with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau for a bilateral meeting. The two committed to continue working closely to improve the lives of their citizens. Prior to that, the president met with his Korean counterpart, Yoon Suk-yeol, Brunei Prime Minister Hassanal Bolkiah, and other world leaders. Now, during the 4-day trip, Marcos Jr. got invited to the World Economic Forum and confirmed his attendance for a state visit to China next year. The chief executive is set to meet with the Filipino community in Cambodia tonight before heading back to the Philippines. Now, over in the United States, Democrats have kept control of the Senate after the party's crucial victory in one state. Senator Catherine Cortez Masto's victory in Nevada gave Democrats the 50 seats they needed to achieve a majority. This defies early predictions that Republicans would take over. Now, only the Senate race in Georgia remains, which is set in December. The race for seats over in the U.S. House of Representatives, however, has yet to be concluded. European governments are having a hard time to balance energy supply and demand following Russian gas cut off. More details in this video.
Over the next few months, Europe will face a high-stakes puzzle. How to keep the lights on with a substantial portion of its energy supply suddenly gone. In hopes of averting a worst-case scenario, European governments are taking action, addressing both sides of the dilemma, supply and demand.
On the supply side, is trying to grab as much gas as it can find in the international market, particularly of liquefied natural gas. This is the big gas carriers that ship gas from places like Qatar and the United States.
The problem is that Europe now faces actually a lack of infrastructure to import that gas.
We're very limited by the amount of LNG import facilities that we have in place. And at the moment, across Europe, there are 25 of these facilities being planned. We'll have the first couple this winter, but through next year, we'll have more. And that will definitely help.
In the meantime, other, more contentious sources of energy will have to make up the shortfall.
The energy crisis in Europe has prompted what we are calling a coal comeback.
In Germany, which has struggled to phase out coal in recent years, the energy crisis has prolonged the practice of raising small villages to mine the lignite coal buried underneath.
So in the short term, we're going to see probably emissions rising, and this can really slow down European plans to become climate neutral. We are seeing also a nuclear comeback in some countries.
With no immediate way for Europe to make up the shortfall in energy supply, the other side of the equation comes into play: reducing demand. Many countries have drawn up guidelines for households and businesses to voluntarily reduce their energy use, such as limiting heating in offices, turning off lights at night, and using clothes dryers only at certain times of day.
The single most important measure that European families can take is reduce the thermostat down. If we reduce the thermostat to 19, probably something like 5 to 7% of European gas demand could come off.
But much of the necessary reduction in energy demand won't need any special push from governments. It'll inevitably happen simply because prices of energy and everything else are so high.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The local government of Noveleta and Cavite is still appealing for help weeks after Paeng's onslaught. Mon Gualvez with the report.
Around 1,000 residents waited in line at this gymnasium in Noveleta, Cavite on Friday. All were hoping to get a financial aid after their homes were ravaged by severe tropical storm Paeng. Admittedly, the local government said they still need help 2 weeks since the storm.
Kami po ay hindi tumitigil sa paghingi ng tulong at sa pagbibigay din ng tulong sa aming mga kababayan dahil hanggang ngayon po ay unti-unti pong bumabangon pa rin. Maraming mga kababayan tayo na wala ng gamit, sasakyan, hanap buhay, kaya umaalalay po tayo sa kanila.
The town was earlier met with controversy following Chua's interview with One Balita Pilipinas. There, he complained about too many requirements allegedly being imposed by the Social Welfare Department. DSWD Chief Erwin Tulfo decided to relieve Calabarzon's regional director and his assistant. The two, however, have been reinstated after an inquiry found that they did not violate any policy. The agency has also clarified that they only require one valid ID among aid beneficiaries for auditing.
Okay na po, nagkaintindihan na po kami at malinaw na po ang patakaran ng DSWD at marami na po nabibigyan tulong, tuloy-tuloy po ang programa ng DSWD. Mga nasalanta ng bagyo, syempre kahit ID ay okay na at hindi na kailangan ng iba't ibang requirement pa. Nilinaw naman po yan ni Secretary Erwin Tulfo.
Meanwhile, Senator Amy Marcos visited Noveleta on her birthday and handed out assistance through the DSWD. She gave away 3,000 pesos in cash assistance per family as well as vegetables and Nutribun.
Ang birthday wish ko ay maibsan ang kahirapan sa Pilipinas sa lalong madaling panahon. Higit sa lahat, bumagsak ang mga presyo at wag tayong haharap ng isang Paskong tuyo. Wish ko lang.
The Noveleta LGU still appealing to more government officials to extend help. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
The death toll from severe tropical storm Paeng has climbed to 160. As of Sunday morning, disaster officials also logged over 140 injured individuals, while 29 others remain missing. So far, Paeng has affected 5.5 million individuals. Some 300,000 of them had to evacuate to temporary shelters. Agricultural losses have reached 6 billion pesos, while damage to infrastructure is now at more than 5 billion pesos. Now for some light news, an 8-year-old Pinoy prodigy has won the 6th Eastern Asia Youth Chess Championship in Thailand. Vince Rafael Operiano from Albayan, Bicol represented the Philippines in the competition. He was chosen to compete after winning the boys under-9 category of the National Youth and School Chess Championships in Zamboanga del Norte. The international tournament was held in Bangkok, Thailand from November 4 to 13. And for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.